Alright, today I want to make a quick video on 3 ratchets, or a set of 3 extendable locking ratchets. These are made by Easy Red. Let me zoom out a little bit here. And this is the box that you get. Here's the side, 72 tooth drive, flexible heads. Anyways, and it has a comfort grip. Nothing much to the box. Oh, one more thing here. They are made in Taiwan, so just to let you know what you get. This is the box. They are lifetime guarantee. So let me show you what you get. I already opened it up. And they come in this foam here. I think it was like that. Something like that. That's their website, easyred-warranty.htm, so you can register your product. And these are the ratchets. It's dirty because I already used them, so that's a good thing for you because I already had a chance to test them out. I had to work on my car and I did get a chance to test them. So with that said, this is what you get. I found out the flexible heads are something a little more flexible than your regular ratchets. I don't have a lot of tools, so I decided to go for these specific Easy Red models or set because you actually have a flexible head, but it also locks, and as you can see, it locks pretty tight. The other reason I like these is because they are extendable. Let me zoom out here just to well, can't do it, I'm already out. But anyways, you get the comfort grip, and let me see what the total length is, just to give you an idea. I'm looking at about 19 and here, let me move it this way. It's about 19.25 inches in length for the half inch once it's completely extended. Now, I can actually compare the half inch to the Harbor Freight Pittsburgh version. As you can see here, Pittsburgh. I bought this one first, and I've been using that for my lug nuts and things like that. Now, if we look at both of them together, here, let me show you. Right there, you can see that the Easy Red is fairly thick. I mean, really thick. Even here, it's a little thicker than the Harbor Freight, which in this case, it's fine because this one still works too, but this one's just quite a bit chunkier than that one. And as you can see, let me see, I'll put them together at the front here. And then as you can see, the Easy Red extends about an inch farther than the Harbor Freight, half an inch. But if I go back one, and then I can pretty much make it about the same of the Harbor Freight. So with that said, on the Easy Red, you do get a little more leverage on it, and this thing is pretty heavy. So, and by that, what I mean is it's pretty chunky as far as the tool goes. I was putting my lug nuts on my car with this one, and it actually felt like I was about to break them. So I had to go down just to make it the same as this one, even though it's still pretty thick. But you know, you get by feel. You can do it by feel, and then you know, I've already done it so many times, I know what not to do. And since I already broke one of my studs a long time ago too. But anyways, moving on here. That's the half comparison with the Harbor Freight, which is the only one I got. Now this one's a flex head, but this is a notching type or locking type, which is fine. But at one point I kind of slipped on something and this thing went on me and I almost hit my hand. So you have to be careful. They do work, but it's just one of those things. So that's why I wanted the locking mechanism on these and the ratcheting version. I use a family member's ratcheting Craftsman, and that works too, but it's not lockable. So I got the feel for that one too. So let me put the before I finish on the comparison, The Harbor Freight has the on and off, and many people say it's the opposite of like your normal Craftsman or Snap-on would be. It doesn't matter to me as long as it's on the right on and off. You know what it is. On, you're putting nut or bolt on, or off, you're taking it off. So that makes sense. Let's see what else. This one doesn't have a quick release, but I've noticed that it's not hard to get the remove the sockets on it, so I haven't had a problem with this one. Now moving towards the Easy Red. The one thing that they don't have is the quick release on these ratchets either, and that may be a good thing for some people. It may not be a good thing for others, depending on the size. If it's a half, you probably won't have a problem taking off the sockets on this one. However, when I was using, I think it was this one, yeah, it was a 3/8. I forgot to mention it does come in half, 3/8, and a quarter size. I haven't seen too many videos on this particular set, so I want to just kind of make a little video on them. And the problem I had with this one, while I was under the car with my dirty hands and a little bit of grease, I was having a problem taking out that 10mm socket out of this ratchet, and I couldn't release it. And it was just, I mean, they hold the sockets in pretty nice and tight, but if you're dirty or your hands are dirty with maybe a little bit of grease or whatever, or oil, and you have a smaller socket, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to take it out. That's the only thing that really bothered me about it. Now this one's also a little bit heavier than your normal 3/8 ratchet, and as you can see, it goes up to, let me see here, about 13 3/4 maybe of an inch. So I like that. You get extra leverage when you need it, and then if you don't have a lot of room, which was one other problem I had with my Harbor Freight one, under the car, it was too long. I didn't have this one. Now that I have this one, I can get a little bit of leverage. I open it up, get the bolt off, and then just put it back, and I can finish the job. So that was pretty nice. So that comes in pretty handy when you're in a tight spot. Now, the 3 or the quarter, I should say. One thing I forgot to mention, you can buy this ratchets individually from what I could see as well. I have never used Easy Red. This is my first time. So this is what the 1/4 inch goes up to. That would be about 8 3/4 inches. One thing I forgot to mention is this hole here. The Easy Red had the holes. You don't have anything on the Pittsburgh. And somebody was mentioning something about they're not going all the way back here or something. So here's what I'm looking at. So the metal is up to like the line here of the black and end of the plastic, just to give you an idea. On the Easy Red, it's the same. It goes up to the end right there where the hole starts, or just a little before that. So you don't have a lot of extra space there that's empty, in case somebody's curious about that. So that's that. The other thing well, it's not a big deal, but it would be kind of nice. On these Easy Red ratchets, you don't have the on or off labeling or anything like that. They're just completely blank. And this is what they sound like. So this is the 1/4 version. The only one that's feels a little bit of a loose, it's this one here, the 1/4. It's not too bad. I did use it on my throttle body and got some other bolts off, so it wasn't a big deal, but yeah, that's the only one I felt a little bit. The locking mechanism is pretty tight, so unless you go caveman on this, I think it'll be okay. So that's that. What else did I want to cover on this other than the labeling and the quick release? I don't think there's much more to it. You know, other than the foam here, it's pretty cheap, and I'm sure over time this thing is just gonna fall apart. So it's not necessarily a tray per se. I mean, it's just a temporary thing, I would say. But that's the look at the Easy Red flexible ratchet head. And you know, I just want to give you a look at those, since I know there aren't too many videos on them. The only other thing I guess I can say about this one is the half. It's very heavy, and while I was under the car, I was using this one to take some bolt out, and even this one got very tiring after a little bit. So this one, I mean, I guess for lug nuts and things like that, you'll be fine, but yeah, the weight on this thing is quite a bit. I don't know how much it is, but it's heavy. It's heavy. But at the same token, it is heavy duty, so you should be able to do a lot more with it. I don't recommend putting cheater bars on these things. On the Ratchet, usually you don't want to do that anyway. If you need to go bigger than that, that's what the breaker bars are for. So, you know, use a tool for the right thing, and I think you'll be okay. But in terms of quality, they look very good from what I can tell. I mean, I haven't seen any problems. I forget to let you listen on this one. So that's what that sounds like. That's what the switch looks like, or feels like. And if you look at it here, they are quite a bit different. This one's shorter, this one's longer, and they're both a bit lower on here on the body. So that's what the half sounds like. They're all 72 teeth, and this is what the 3/8 sounds like. So let me see if I can give you a closer look at what they are. So again, it's a little dirty because I already used it, and that's how they lock. It's a little different than what you may be used to because, well, it's just something new to me, and I'm sure many people out there. But it uses the little dimples, so it's like a little ball bearing in there. And you just gotta move it once you put it on there so that it'll lock. You know, it is what it is. But I do like the fact that every now and then I need a little extra leverage, and I can just pop it out and put it back in and keep going. In that sense, it's been great. I still like the Pittsburgh. It's been very good to me. I've used it on my tires, as I've said already. This one, I'm still kind of iffy because of the weight, and you know, I'm not a big guy, so. But it does come in handy if you really have something really tight. Let me see. No, I used the breaker bar, the Harbor Freight breaker bar for my axle nut, which was around 130 something foot-pounds or something like that. That worked fine. I just had to step on it. They do flex a little bit, but haven't had any issues with it. I've also taken the, let me see, the crank bolt on 91 Miata with my breaker bar from Harbor Freight. So it's about, I think it's a little thicker than this one, maybe, I forget. It's a 25-inch with the similar handle too. And this one I've used for the lug nuts. I'm trying to think what else. We just took the engine on my MR2 down because we put a clutch in, so I've been using it. That's where I've been using it with the bolts there. You know, mounts, motor mounts, transmission, what do you call it, bolts. Doesn't have that many. So overall, I haven't had any issues other than, you know, this one where I didn't have a lot of space on the bottom. I use this one to take out my transmission bolt oil, which was about 24 millimeters, I think it was. I had no problem, you know, you just gotta, it's pretty shallow, so I just had to hold it really well. And I had no issue with doing that. It was pretty tight, so I had no issue with that. So yeah, this is what the Easy Red looks like. In case anybody is interested in them, it's a new company that I just found out about because I was looking about for the ratcheting, flexible ratchets. I didn't know anything about them. I saw the kit, I liked it. I ordered this from Amazon, and yeah, it came in a couple of days, I think. So far I'm happy with it. I know they do have the replacement gearing for them on the website, so I'm sure if I have a problem, you know, with the warranty, they'll replace them. But I'm usually pretty good with my tools, so hopefully that's not something I will need soon. I just wish you had the at least for, well, for the smaller ones, the quick release button, just to make it easier to take those sockets off. Other than that, you know, I don't know if this is maybe, let me see how tight this bearing is. I can push in both of them, so maybe I just had too much oil on my hand. I don't know. I mean, they feel about the same, I think. No, this one might feel a little, no, this one feels a little stiffer spring than this one, I think. Yeah, this one feels a little stiffer than that. Maybe just a tad, not too much, but that could be the reason that it's harder for me to get the sockets out too. Yeah, it's a little tight. I mean, tough. But I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. So I don't want to go too much on that since I just covered them all. But I hope that gives you a good look at a new set of tools that you've never seen before.